Mike, I want to ask you today about sentencing hearings. And suppose that a family hires you and their son has just been convicted in a felony trial, let's say of grand theft. And now he has a sentencing hearing. It's going to go before the judge. And the judge is going to have a lot of discretion. The judge could give him no jail time. The judge could send him to state prison for several years. What do you do to prepare for this hearing? Or what can you do to try to influence the judge to go as light as possible on the sentence?
First I do is I talk to the client. I want to know personally about him from his own mouth. I want to hear from him and to find out what happened on this incident, who he is as a human being, so I can better represent his interest. I want to talk to his friends and family members, people that know him. I want to gather character letters on his behalf to provide to probation, which is going to do a report to the court and to the district attorney. I want to look at the trial record itself to see if there's any information there that could help me and where people get testified that show mitigation, that show that he overall was a good guy. Maybe there's an underlying drug issue here. Maybe we can then suggest to the court, get him evaluated for, example, a local rehabilitation facility for 90 days or so as an offset to the taxpayers having the burden of housing this individual in jail or state prison.
And you mentioned a probation report. Now, my understanding is that there's a probation officer who will be assigned, and he will make a recommendation to the judge on the sentence, right?
That's correct.
Which the judge, does not have to accept, but obviously will have some influence, right?
Certainly, courts rely upon probation reports to be a roadmap as to what they're going to want to do. Okay. Also, they get a flavor for the case, whether if it was in trial, or certainly if you made numerous appearances in front of them as you negotiated the case that ultimately wound up with a plea.
So as attorneys, do we have an opportunity to influence how the probation officer sees the case and what sort of recommendation he or she will make to the judge?
We absolutely have an opportunity to influence probation, but more importantly, a greater opportunity to influence the judge.
Now, as far as influencing the judge, so the sentencing hearing takes place in open court before the judge, right?
It does.
What sorts of evidence do you put on? What sorts of witnesses do you put on? What do you do to try to influence the judge, let's say in this young man's case, to give him probation, not to put him in jail, to go as light as possible?
Well, I think getting a complete background package before the court by way of character letters and information like that. I had a case just a few months ago, it was about 8 months ago now, where we entered a plea, and under California law, the victim can come and give a statement, all right? In this case, the victim really didn't want to see our client severely punished. So we asked the victim to appear on our client's behalf to give, I kind of called it a reverse victim impact statement, where the victim herself is saying, listen, he made a mistake, but I don't think he should go to prison.
I'm not looking for blood here. I'd be happy with just a light slap on the wrist.
Exactly. And not even a light slap on the wrist, still accountability. And that's one of the things I always talk to the court about. We can hold this person accountable, Your Honor, but we don't have to throw away the key. What can we do to fix him, to make him a productive member of society in the future? And I tell them, we know that the prison system doesn't do that. We have the ability to do that in county jail, through drug programs, and the inroads program like we have, as you're aware, in San Bernardino County. And find alternatives to just housing this person like he's cattle in the future.
So bottom line, I mean, judges have great discretion, right? Especially in felony sentencing, anything from no time at all to many years in state prison. Do you think that these efforts of influencing the probation officer and bringing in character witnesses and all of these efforts, does that make a big difference in swaying judges to go light?
Simple answer, I don't think they make a difference. I know they make a difference. I live that every day in our practice. We have an impact every time we go in front of a court. Sometimes it's a little impact, sometimes it's a great impact. I'm Mike Scafiddi, a retired police officer and now a criminal defense attorney with Shouse Law Group. If you or a loved one are in trouble and need help, call me.